Welcome to Conversations with Achievers. I'm your host, Robert White. I'm a mentor to owners, executives, and their teams, and CEO of Extraordinary People, LLC. I work with people that want to create extraordinary business performance with less stress, more joy, and more personal fulfillment. So sit back, relax, and prepare to learn from your peers as we explore what it takes in terms of attitudes, habits, and behaviors that achieve extraordinary results. Results for yourself, for your family, and your community. Hello, Robert White here, and welcome to Conversations with Achievers. And we've got a really interesting international businessman as our guest today. Pavel Shynkarenko is the founder and the CEO of a company that manages freelancers. And we'll give him a chance to talk about that in a bit. Pavel, welcome, and hello to you in beautiful Cyprus.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
We were talking before we went live here about being on the Mediterranean and in that area and how beautiful it is. And so we're a little bit jealous, Pavel, but we'll get over it, and we'll find out what you're up to and what you've learned from whatever it is that you're up to. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did this happen that you would start this kind of a company that seems so important in kind of these days where so many of us do in fact use freelancers and people that are stationed abroad?
Yeah, first of all, I had a legal background, and I had my own legal company and provide with the legal services for other businesses and help them to solve many kind of problems. And in 2013, I find out that many times I help companies to manage their freelance forces, to contract with the freelancers in many countries, and I build a lot of infrastructure for that reason. And I think, okay, it looks like a service. And I found the company and start with a service that help companies to manage their freelance forces in different countries. Cross-border payments, cross-border deals, etc.
Right, and we're having a little bit of difficulty with sound, so if you can move a little closer to your microphone, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I will try.
I
Now it's okay?
noticed, I think we'll be okay. I noticed that you're at a harbor, and so what are you up to today?
Today we help companies to manage their freelance forces. We have the offices in many different countries, and what we are doing, we build our own infrastructure, a lot of bank accounts, a lot of entities, a lot of legal contracts in different countries on different rules, and organize that in one infrastructure and provide us as a service for our clients and help them to contract with the freelancers, to pay them directly to different bank accounts, to different cards. And it looks like a business infrastructure for rent and some kind of web service, fintech and legal tech together.
And I noticed today you are next to the ocean. Does this mean that your business allows you to take a day off?
Yeah, now I'm not involved in day-by-day operation. That's why I have some time to spend it with my wife and family. That's why we had some kind of trip, the sea trip today. And now I'm in beautiful Cyprus harbor, and sunset time. It's wonderful.
I'm guessing that you have a boat.
No, I rent it. It's better.
Well, good point about that. The classic joke is that your happiest day was when you buy the boat, and the even happier day is when you sell it.
Yeah, when sell it. That's true. That's really true. I'm starting with training as a pilot now, and I would like to receive the pilot license next year. Um, there is my passion, one of my hobbies. I try to realize myself not only in the business, but in art, in piloting, many kind of fields.
That's a lesson that all of us, I think, need to learn. The expression that I've heard recently quite often is somebody that failed retirement. That they tried to stop working, but they couldn't. But people that are running a company, I think, often uh, don't structure their life and their schedule so that they have time for their family, for their hobbies, for their charitable interests. And so, as the
Unfortunately, yeah, first couple of years was awful. Only work, nothing for you yourself. No vacations, nor even holidays. That's true. But after, when you build the group of companies, and now I have the great team, and that allows me to have some kind of day off or vacations.
Was there
That's
something
really
that
amazing.
happened for you in terms of kind of changing your attitude and that caused you to attract a great team and caused you to pay more attention to free time? And was it one moment or was it a gradual thing?
No, it wasn't one moment. I think it looks like your business looks like a child. You grow your child, and after a couple of years, it becomes more, I don't know, separates from you, and um, after then you realize you do not need your company on day-by-day operations, but on the strategic decisions and some kind of really huge challenges. Yeah, you need it, and they need you, but not day by day.
Not
And
forever. Not
that
forever.
that happens not on one time. The huge process. It took couple of years.
Lots of learning in that. One of my clients, I learned that he was living in maybe a very, very expensive home. He was taking very nice vacations. He had three so-called supercars, Lamborghini and Ferrari, and I don't think that the third one. And he was single, and he'd been on the front page of our local city magazine as the most eligible bachelor in Colorado. So he hires me and pays me, a lot of money. And at some point I said, why? Everything is great for you. And the story he told me was about going back to his small town where his family is from for his uncle's funeral. And that town had 3,000 people, relatively small town. And over 2,000 people showed up at the football stadium for the funeral service. And he was just shocked. And he wasn't that close to his uncle. And then he heard people come up to the stage again and again, talking about the difference that man had made in their lives, which explained why 2,000 people came to his funeral. He really had made a difference in his small town. And my client, at that time not a client, got on the airplane to come home, and he actually had a breakdown, an emotional breakdown, thinking about how if he died, even though he was hugely successful, that maybe you could count the number of people that would come to his funeral on maybe both hands, but certainly not 2,000 people are not going to come because of the choices that he was making. I'm happy to say he's now married with a couple of wonderful children, and I think thousands of people would come to his funeral because he's really made a difference with his life. But as the Australians say, Pavel, good on you, mate. Those are good choices.
Thank you. Thank you. That's great. That's great. That's great experience and great story.
And how about, I'm sure the path has not always been smooth, maybe in hiring or in management or in just the environment, the economy, whatever. Have you run into any rough spots along your journey?
Uh, it's a tricky question. Um, First of all, when we start our business, we do not recognize what exactly we are built. And when we start, we focus only um, on advertisement market and help companies who manage their uh, webmasters, or now we call them bloggers or vloggers. But 10 years ago, that name was webmasters. But when we start to operate, we face with a problem of so general thing that we built. We can use that in many different fields, and it was difficult to focus on something, to do not try to go everywhere on the one time and focus only on the freelancing. Um, it was the first challenge. Another one was challenge about the uh, international team. When we start to operate with our business in many countries, we recognize that people and businesses in different countries requires many different things from our service, and that was tricky to try to help all of them, but do not build some kind of solution that will be so strictly focused on only one field. It was the second, I don't know, trap for our business. And in many kind of, we had many decisions about, do we need to build the marketplace inside our service or not? And we decided to focus only on the tool. We do not have any kind of marketplace inside our service. And that was our solution that helped our business to grow and to take some kind of niche for the tool, not for the marketplaces. It was the right decision because, it was a hard decision for us because we see the ocean of both possibilities, and it always was hard to focus on something.
Yeah, there was almost too much opportunity, sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, that difference in your plan versus reality, and especially when you're operating in different cultures, that's a big issue for, increasingly big issue for business people, especially the ones that want to sell or manufacture abroad. You know, I mentioned to you earlier that I have a virtual assistant who lives in the Philippines. Now, I have the benefit of, I've spent 23 years of my working life in Asia, so I have a sensitivity to Asian cultures. But what's interesting to me is, an example of this is that the Philippines is a very religious country. And so
Yeah.
she does not work on Sundays. And, you know, today, I'm sorry to say that most of us doing business in the US work every day, it seems like. But I have to discipline myself not to ask her a question or give her an assignment that would have to be done on a Sunday. Because that's her day for church, and that's what she does. And it was actually in the agreement that I signed to work with her, that I would not disturb her on the Sunday. But when
So
you
many differences between the people, but it it looks like the challenge for us on one side, but on other side, we bring them all together, and that makes me happy because I recognize that uh, many people from different countries can work together and can work on one project, and that that feeling of I don't know. It looks like we find out something that unites people from many countries, and that's great. That's great opportunity, and that great feeling that you help companies to manage their freelancers in many countries and give them the solution for that useful for Philippine freelancers, Indian ones, Russian, Ukrainian, and they work together. Um, that's great.
Well, I think if you're being in effect, a cultural translator for your clients, that's an incredibly valuable thing because most clients really don't know very much about other cultures, in my experience. The fact that you are the, I guess, middleman for them and helping them get what they want, but at the same time helping your team understand and be focused and get the job done. Uh, I do understand that role. That's and good for you.
Thank you.
Look, we're drawing near the end of this little time together. Two things. One is, what have you learned that you think is really valuable to others? And then finally, if people want to reach out to you, how do they contact you?
I have the business email pavel@solarstuff.com, or you can use our website to contact my team and me. I'm open, and I really like to have some kind of conversation with interesting people from many countries, and that always means some kind of opportunities.
Well, be sure to please text me the contact so we can put it in the show notes and so that people can reach you. Well, what's your final piece of wisdom for the business people that are listening today?
Um, I, d- I have many topics to discuss, but okay. First of all, I think in nowadays we have two trends. One trend is a remote work, another AI, and if um, you can use that opportunity both together or one of them, or lose in a competition. You have no any kind of different ways. I think in nowadays uh, the economics in many countries not so strong, and you have to find I don't know, opportunity to grow faster than your market. And international freelance force, it could help you because in sometimes you receive sometimes you receive um, interesting experience, different point of view. Sometimes you receive the cheaper resources, but you receive some kind of competitive advantage according to
Yes.
that, and there is great.
You know, I know so little about using AI, even though I guess I use it somewhat. And but one of my clients is a very successful female business owner, and she's been hugely successful with her business. She is less successful with men. And by the way, I find that's not uncommon that these hugely successful women struggle in other areas of their life. And I'm not a a consultant or a mentor around relationships, at least those kind of relationships. But she shared with me recently that she had been approached online for a date and she wasn't sure how to respond. So she went on to Chat GPT and put in the parameters of how to respond. And then she read to me what AI wrote for her. And Pavel, it was actually brilliant. It actually, you talk about this thing about not being aware and resisting change. The Chat GPT gave her a solution that she never would have thought of because she's kind of driven, and which actually generally men don't like that much. So, she needed to be a little gentler, and Chat GPT was gentler and quite clever in its response. I mean, that's not a business example, but I think as I look at my own resistance to change, I realized as I was listening to her that I'd better get a little more aggressive about understanding AI. Artificial intelligence is going to be a big part of everybody's business future.
We're all a bit scary about that, but that already happened, and you cannot avoid. You have to use or lose. You have no other option.
Your English is a lot better than the other 3 languages you probably speak and that I don't. Use it or lose it. That's true. Pavel, it's been a delight talking with you. I hope we can find something, you and I can find something to do together. And thanks so much for what you shared today with our listeners. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you for our conversation.
Have a great day. Have a great day on the water. We are all very, very jealous.
Thank you.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us for Conversations with Achievers. If you or someone you know would make a good guest for this weekly show, the details are at therobertwhite.com and click on podcasts. I'm looking for businessmen and women with a story to tell, stories that might benefit other owners and executives. If you got some value from this program, I'd really appreciate you sharing about it on social media and just mentioned www.therobertwhite.com. Of course, subscribing means you won't miss a show, and rating the podcast positively will leave Robert smiling. I'm building a movement here for leaders who want to succeed in business, succeed with their families, have fun, and contribute toward making the world a better place. It's special to me that you chose to listen. I look forward to connecting again next week. Remember, reach out to me anytime with any questions or concerns at therobertwhite.com. Bye for now.